Welcome, everyone. This is Bert from Speed Truth Sports, and I just got done watching one of the greatest playoff series of this year so far. Wow, I mean that was a heck of a game. The Bucks really put it. They put out as much as they could in that game. Let's just sit and talk about it. Let's sit and talk about it. So, Brooke, I want to start with Brooke Lopez because this man had the most low IQ play ever, like right near the end of the fourth. Like they came out of a timeout, so they know how much time is on the shot clock. It was like 2.6 seconds. This man runs to get the ball, but then doesn't know what to do with it. Then immediately, I forgot exactly. I think it was Brown. Immediately got a closeout on him, and he just didn't know what to do. You got 2.6 seconds, bro. Shoot the ball. The clock's winding down, winding down. He eventually gets to 0.6 seconds, and he passes after when he's at 0.6 seconds to Chris Middleton, who doesn't even get the ball before the shot clock goes off. And then he immediately pulls him over, and he's like, bro. He was like, look up. I think he was like, look, did you know how much time you had, bro? It was a really, really boneheaded play that almost possibly cost them the series. It really could have cost them the series if KD's shot was counted as a 3 instead of a 2. That would have cost them the series, and that would have been, in my opinion, even more egregious than J.R. Smith. In my opinion, that would have been even more egregious than J.R. Smith. Or maybe just as. But I got to give Brooke Lopez props on the defensive end. He had a really, really solid defensive game. I mean, he was blocking KD more than a lot of defensive centers block KD. I mean, he got 4 blocks. I'm pretty sure 3 of those were on Kevin Durant. So, I mean, Brooke Lopez had a great defensive game. He came to play tonight after not really doing too much for the other parts of the series. PJ Tucker, he did a really solid job on defense, but that last shot, obviously he couldn't do anything. KD's he's a 7-foot monster. Even fully stretched out with his arm up in KD's face as much as he could, at least, KD just knocked it down. There's nothing he could do. But he did foul out eventually on some really, on a really questionable foul call. Drew Holiday was not great. But he did hit an important shot down the line in the fourth quarter. Chris Middleton, this guy does not step up until it is he needed to step up. He is probably one of the most clutch players on this team, and he was having a really bad night up until the end of the fourth and then overtime. And man, he was going crazy on a couple of those shots. And the Nets, man. All right, we should talk about the Nets now as well. The reason I only have the Bucks box score up right now is not only because the screen's not big enough to show both of them, but also because I want to show the stat of the night right here. Brooklyn Nets. So look at the starting lineup or their bench. They had an 8-man rotation, a solid 8-man rotation. But look at their bench players. Stat of the night: their bench players did not attempt a single shot. Didn't even attempt a single shot. That's ridiculous. Another thing I want to point out: Kevin Durant played 53 minutes. That was the entire game. He was not subbed out. He did not sit down once. James Harden played basically the entire game. I mean, he sat out for 1 second. And he's got a hamstring injury. A grade 2 hamstring injury. The Nets were kind of set up to lose this game, in my opinion. Kevin Durant had an amazing... I mean, he basically carried this entire team on his back for the majority of the game, right up until overtime. And then he was just not good in overtime. He was clearly gassed. I mean, that shot that the last shot that he took, I didn't like it because it kind of seemed like he was trying to do the shot that he had just made before, but from further back, so he could actually count it as a 3. I didn't like that shot. I think he could have settled for something better, maybe even driven it just to the hole, try to get an and one, or even just tie up the game. But he was clearly gassed, and that shot didn't even touch rim. It didn't even get to the rim. It just straight up airballed, and yeah, it did not look good. He's clearly gassed, but I'm not gonna excuse him for that bad performance in OT. What I will say though is James Harden, I think he put up a solid performance. Even though he didn't do great in fourth quarter and OT as well. He was obviously gassed, and he's playing on a hamstring injury. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. If they had Kyrie on this team, they probably would have won it. And look, I don't want to be that guy, but you know, your boy picked Bucks in 7 way before the series even started. Way before the playoffs. It was right at the start of the playoffs. I predicted Bucks in 7 in this series. Obviously, I didn't count for the injuries. I didn't know that the injuries were going to happen. And I think that played a heavy factor because I think if all 3 of these guys were fully healthy, KD, James Harden, and Kyrie, they probably would have beat the Bucks. But, you know, things happen. Stuff happens. Kyrie got hurt, sadly. Unfortunately, James Harden got hurt before the series. And, you know, the Nets just couldn't recover because they don't have enough depth. They simply don't have enough depth. I think the Nets will probably be title favorites next year. And the reason I'm saying this is because I think they're going to go heavy into the free agent market and they're going to go heavy into the trade market with their picks. And they're just going to try and get some defensive role players on this team, some depth behind Harden, Kyrie, and Durant. They need it, and they need better load management throughout the regular season so that this doesn't happen. They don't get injured come playoff time. That's on Steve Nash. So Steve Nash got to step up and doing all that. But yeah, I mean, I just think that I think the Nets probably will be title favorites next year, depending on the moves they make, obviously. And, man, I'm going to be real. I really enjoyed seeing them go down. I love the NBA when it's unpredictable. I love it when it's unpredictable. This has been, in my opinion, one of the best playoffs, like, for the NBA ever that I can remember watching. Just because now it's like anything could happen. The door's completely wide open. Anybody could take the championship right now. Suns, Clippers, Bucks, and either Sixers or Hawks, whoever wins that. Any one of them legitimately has a chance to win. And there's all the favorites are gone. Everybody's knocked out. Almost all the superstars are gone. They're out. So now we're just seeing a bunch of teams who the Clippers never won a championship. I don't think the Suns ever won a championship. The Sixers did win, but they hadn't won in a long time. And I don't think the Hawks ever won a champion. Oh no, they did. They did it like a long time ago as well, I think. And the Bucks have not won a championship in a very, very long time. So, you know, there's a lot of these teams that have not been good for either a very long time or just haven't won a championship ever are coming into these playoffs right now. It's down to them. It's straight up just down to them, and that's so exciting for me. That makes the NBA so much more fun to watch, I guess, as a non-casual. If I was a casual fan, I'd be disappointed because, you know, obviously KD, Harden, Kyrie all knocked out. LeBron's knocked out. You know, I'd probably be disappointed as a casual fan. But look, if you're a casual fan, man, this is the best time to start getting in the know about everything. Just jump in there. Just watch all these games. Because these series are going to be really close. Suns, Clippers, going to be a really, really close series. Going to be a really nice series. I got Suns in 6 in that one. I see a lot of people saying Clippers. Clippers in 5, Clippers in 6, Clippers in 7. I don't know. I think Kawhi Leonard's a bigger loss to the Clippers than Chris Paul is to the Suns, in my opinion. That probably sounds like blasphemy for a lot of people to say, but I mean, I think the Suns played good even without Chris Paul when he was out earlier in the playoffs, and I think they can keep it up. I think the Suns can keep it up. I feel like everyone's underrating the Suns again, so I want to tip my hat to the Suns. I think they're making the finals. And on the East side, Hawks, Sixers. I genuinely have no idea. It's all on Ben Simmons. It's all on Ben Simmons. I have no idea what's going to happen there. If he can score double-digit points, maybe the Sixers can win. But it's going to be a really, really tough series. It's going to be a really, really tough game because they've only got one game left. And it's going to be a really fun game. But either way, I don't think Sixers or Hawks, even if they win, I don't think they're going to make I don't think they're going to make the finals. I think the Bucks are probably somewhat of a lock in the East. And another thing I do want to say is that people should have seen this coming with the Nets, because as I explained in our previous video, in our last video where we were going over all the playoff predictions and all that, as I explained, in the last like 10 or 20 years, only like one or two teams have ever even made the finals that didn't have a top 10 defense or at least a top 15. Nets did not have either. I believe they were in the 20s ranked defensively. Defense wins championships, or at least it gets you to the finals. And the Nets defense was really bad. I mean, anytime you let the Milwaukee Bucks score 115 on you, you're doing something wrong. Because this team was not good offensively, and they were still scoring. So, man, shout out to both these teams, to all these players involved. Man, they put in a great performance. This was a great series, one of the most entertaining throughout this NBA playoffs so far. It's up there with the Clippers Mavericks. It's up there with the Suns Lakers. Yeah, but if you had to ask me, I think Bucks are beating. If they go against the Sixers, I say Bucks in 6. If they go against the Hawks, I think I'll also say Bucks in 6. I think the finals matchup is gonna be the Suns Bucks, and like I said in the previous predictions video, I did say that if the Suns got past the Lakers, that they were probably gonna make the finals. I believe I said that, and that's what I believe that ever since ever since it started, I was like, if the Suns can pull this off, they're finals bound, and that's what I think it's gonna be Suns Bucks finals. In terms of who's gonna win that, I got no idea. I got no idea because I feel like they just both are such a tough matchup for each other, because the Bucks defense is gonna be really, really good. It's gonna be tough for a lot of the role players to step up on the Suns. So a lot of it's gonna be on Devin Booker. I'm not sure how much he can handle by himself. I'm not sure if maybe Chris Paul gets injured again. That would suck, but that is always a possibility. He could get injured again. I'm just hoping that everybody stays healthy right for the finals. And I don't want to give a finals prediction like that. I feel like it'll go to 7. I'm just gonna say it. I feel like it'll go 7, maybe 6. I don't think a Suns Bucks series is gonna be over in 4 or 5. I think has to be 6 or 7, and it's gonna be some really tough, hard fought games. But it's up in the air for me. I got no idea who's gonna win that if that happens. If that does happen, I'll be back on here giving my predictions for that. So yeah, I just want to hop on real quick, share my thoughts about everything going on and all that. And yeah, I'm hoping to be back a few more times, making some end of series recaps. Maybe at the end of some games that go crazy. Maybe I'll talk about them a little bit more there. But we'll see how everything goes. If you enjoy sports content, basketball content, NFL content, MMA content, man, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You know what we do. Listen to our podcast. We're trying to get some new episodes out. We're also going to be pumping out some NFL videos, some off-season NFL videos eventually. So watch out for those. And our website is going to go up soon. So keep an eye out for that. And follow us all in the description, all that, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. And we will catch you guys next time. Peace.